Take a look at yourself. Do you possess the courage of these luminous figures to embrace your true gender? Elliot Page, Jennings, Laura Jane Grace, each stood boldly before the world, unflinching in the face of scrutiny, to declare their authentic selves. They bore the weight of public judgment, all for the sake of living in harmony with their truth. Pause, reflect, and draw inspiration from their bravery. Laura Jane Grace. Laura Jane Grace, the trailblazing frontwoman of the punk rock band Against Me, shattered stereotypes and broke down barriers in the punk rock scene when she came out as a transgender woman in 2012. In a genre often characterized by its hyper-masculine energy and rebellious ethos, Grace's public transition was both a courageous act of self-acceptance and a profound statement of inclusion. Her decision to live authentically not only challenged the norms of the punk community, but also brought much-needed visibility to transgender issues in music and beyond. For years, she grappled with feelings of disconnection between her true self and the identity she presented to the world. Music became both an outlet for her pain and a means of self-expression, with her lyrics often alluding to her internal conflicts. Against Me's 2007 album New Wave featured songs like The Ocean, in which Grace sang about wanting to transition, though at the time, her lyrics were often interpreted as metaphorical rather than autobiographical. It wasn't until her 2012 announcement in Rolling Stone that she publicly embraced her identity as a transgender woman, marking a pivotal moment in her life and career. Grace's transition brought visibility to transgender issues within a punk rock scene that had often been resistant to conversations about gender and identity. Her openness challenged the genre's hyper-masculine stereotypes, proving that punk's core values of defiance and authenticity were perfectly aligned with her decision to live as her true self. Grace's courage inspired a wave of support from fans and fellow musicians, while also sparking important conversations about inclusion and acceptance within the music industry. In 2016, Grace published her memoir, Tranny, Confessions of Punk Rock's Most Infamous Anarchist Sellout. Co-written with music journalist Dan Ozzie, the memoir provided an unflinching look at her life, from her early struggles with gender dysphoria to the challenges of transitioning while in the public eye. The book combined diary entries with personal reflections, creating a raw and honest narrative that resonated deeply with readers. Grace's willingness to share her vulnerabilities and triumphs offered a powerful reminder of the strength it takes to live authentically and the importance of creating spaces where others can do the same. Grace's music has continued to reflect her journey, with her 2014 album Transgender Dysphoria Blues serving as a visceral exploration of her experiences as a transgender woman. Songs like True Trans Soul Rebel and the title track captured the pain, anger, and resilience that defined her path to self-acceptance. The album was praised not only for its musicality, but also for its unflinching honesty, becoming an anthem for many within the LGBTQ+ community. Beyond her music and memoir, Grace has been an outspoken advocate for LGBTQ+ rights and a more inclusive music industry. She has used her platform to speak out against discrimination and to champion the importance of representation in all creative spaces. Her visibility as a transgender woman in a genre that had historically sidelined such voices has inspired countless LGBTQ+ individuals to embrace their identities and pursue their passions without fear. Grace's influence extends far beyond the punk rock scene. Her resilience and authenticity have made her a role model for anyone seeking to live their truth in the face of societal expectations. By challenging norms and advocating for acceptance, she has not only redefined what it means to be a punk rocker, but also what it means to be a trailblazer in any field. Elliot Page. In December 2020, Elliot Page, the Oscar-nominated actor known for his roles in films like Juno and Inception, publicly shared his truth as a transgender man. This moment marked a profound milestone in his personal journey, and a significant cultural moment for the broader LGBTQ+ community. Page's announcement, which he shared via social media, resonated deeply with millions worldwide, offering visibility and affirmation to transgender and non-binary individuals navigating their own paths of self-discovery and acceptance. More than just a declaration of identity, his words carried an urgent call to action, shining a light on the systemic challenges and violence faced by the transgender community, particularly those at the intersections of race and gender. Page's candidness about his transition and his lifelong struggles with gender dysphoria highlighted the emotional and psychological toll of living in a world that often enforces rigid gender norms. He spoke openly about the relief and joy he felt in embracing his authentic self, as well as the fears of vulnerability and scrutiny that accompanied his public coming out. By sharing these experiences, Page humanized the complexities of gender identity and created space for others to feel seen and understood. His story became a powerful counterpoint to pervasive stereotypes, demonstrating the strength, resilience, and diversity of the transgender experience. Beyond his personal narrative, Page used his platform to amplify issues that disproportionately impact marginalized transgender communities. He prioritized elevating the voices of Black and Latinx trans individuals who face compounded layers of discrimination and violence. Studies have shown that trans women of color, in particular, experience alarmingly high rates of fatal violence, with systemic racism, transphobia, and economic disenfranchisement creating a dangerous confluence of vulnerabilities. Page consistently called attention to this epidemic of violence, urging society to address its root causes through policy change, community support, and education. Page also focused on the systemic barriers faced by transgender individuals in accessing basic needs like housing, healthcare, and employment. He highlighted how intersectional discrimination often leaves Black and Latinx trans people in precarious situations, exacerbating rates of homelessness and unemployment. In healthcare settings, trans individuals frequently encounter bias and a lack of culturally competent care, leading to significant health disparities. By advocating for inclusive policies and equitable access to resources, Page emphasized the importance of addressing these systemic inequalities to improve the quality of life for the transgender community. Jennings. At just 5 years old, Jennings shared her truth as a transgender girl with her supportive parents, initiating a lifelong journey of authenticity, resilience, and advocacy. Over the nearly 2 decades since Jennings has become a beacon of hope and an influential figure for transgender youth worldwide. As the star of the TLC reality series I Am Jazz, she brought her story to international audiences, illuminating the profound complexities, triumphs, and struggles of growing up transgender. Through I Am Jazz, Jennings offered an unprecedented, deeply personal look into her life, from her childhood to her teenage years and beyond. The show documented her day-to-day experiences, shedding light on the challenges she faced, including bullying, societal stigma, and the medical hurdles associated with transitioning. Her openness resonated with audiences, fostering greater understanding and empathy for the transgender experience. By allowing viewers to witness her vulnerabilities and victories, Jennings humanized the often misunderstood realities of being transgender, particularly for young people navigating their identities in a world that can be unkind to difference. Despite the numerous challenges she encountered, Jennings demonstrated remarkable resilience and an unwavering commitment to embracing her authentic self. Bullying and discrimination were a painful part of her early experiences, but they did not define her. Instead, they became a catalyst for her advocacy work. She consistently used her platform to raise awareness about the struggles transgender youth face, advocating for acceptance and equal rights. Her courage in sharing her story inspired countless others to live authentically and to stand against injustice. One of the most visible and deeply personal aspects of Jennings's journey involved the medical challenges she faced. Her candid discussions about hormone therapy, gender-affirming surgeries, and the physical and emotional toll of these processes provided invaluable insight for audiences and families navigating similar paths. By sharing these intimate aspects of her life, Jennings not only educated viewers about the realities of gender-affirming healthcare, but also normalized these conversations, encouraging greater compassion and understanding. The Wachowski siblings. The Wachowski siblings' personal journeys of self-discovery and authenticity, Lena's public coming out as a transgender woman in 2012, and Lily's announcement as a transgender and non-binary individual in 2016, marked watershed moments for transgender visibility in the entertainment industry. Their courage to live openly, combined with their pioneering artistry, has reshaped perceptions of gender diversity and representation in creative spaces. The Wachowskis' decision to come out as transgender was both deeply personal and undeniably political, given the cultural context of Hollywood's historically limited and often stereotypical portrayals of LGBTQ+ identities. Lena's transition in 2012 was one of the earliest instances of a high-profile filmmaker publicly embracing her transgender identity. This move was groundbreaking, as it forced the entertainment industry and its global audience to reckon with the reality of transgender lives beyond the screen. Lena's openness inspired countless individuals while encouraging discussions about inclusion and acceptance within Hollywood and beyond. 4 years later, Lily Wachowski's announcement added another powerful voice to the narrative of transgender visibility. In her candid statement, Lily highlighted the challenges and fears that often accompany living openly as a transgender person, particularly in a media landscape that can sensationalize such revelations. Her courage further solidified the Wachowskis as trailblazers, demonstrating the importance of authenticity and representation not only in front of the camera but also behind the scenes. The Wachowskis' personal journeys are inseparable from their creative work, which has consistently explored themes of identity, transformation, and the search for authenticity. The Matrix trilogy, one of their most influential works, has often been interpreted as an allegory for gender identity and the experience of transitioning. The narrative of breaking free from societal constraints, questioning the nature of reality, and embracing one's true self resonated deeply with audiences, particularly within LGBTQ+ communities. The red pill, a symbol of awakening and self-liberation in the films, has been embraced as a metaphor for the transgender experience. In Sense8, their ambitious Netflix series, the Wachowskis further expanded on themes of identity and connection. The show featured a diverse ensemble cast, including LGBTQ+ characters whose lives were portrayed with nuance and authenticity. Through this work, the Wachowskis not only celebrated diversity, but also challenged traditional storytelling norms by presenting a world where empathy and shared humanity transcend societal divisions. Sense8 was hailed as a groundbreaking piece of television that unapologetically championed inclusivity and representation. Their impact on Hollywood extends beyond their own projects. By living authentically and thriving in an industry that often marginalizes transgender individuals, the Wachowskis have paved the way for other transgender and non-binary creatives to tell their stories. Their visibility has inspired a new generation of filmmakers, writers, and actors to push boundaries and demand a seat at the table. Moreover, their openness has sparked important conversations within Hollywood about the importance of hiring transgender talent and accurately representing transgender lives on screen. Lena Bloom. Lena Bloom made history in July 2021 when she appeared on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue, becoming the first transgender woman to achieve this groundbreaking milestone. This moment was not just a personal victory for Bloom, but a monumental step forward for transgender visibility and representation in the modeling industry and beyond. With her powerful celebratory message, "We deserve this moment. We have waited millions of years to show up as survivors and be seen as full humans filled with wonder," Bloom captured the essence of a collective struggle for acceptance, recognition, and the right to thrive authentically. As an openly transgender woman of color, Bloom faced systemic barriers and discrimination in the fashion and entertainment industries, which have historically marginalized both transgender individuals and people of color. However, her talent and unyielding commitment to breaking stereotypes propelled her forward. Bloom first gained widespread attention in 2017 when she became one of the first openly transgender models to walk the runway at Paris Fashion Week. This achievement was a precursor to the many glass ceilings she would later shatter. Her inclusion in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue was a watershed moment for the publication, which had long been criticized for its narrow standards of beauty and lack of diversity. By featuring Bloom on its cover, Sports Illustrated signaled a significant shift toward embracing a broader definition of beauty, one that includes transgender women and celebrates their humanity and accomplishments. Bloom's presence on such a global platform sent a powerful message about the importance of representation and the need to challenge traditional norms in media and fashion. Beyond her work in modeling, Bloom is an outspoken advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, racial equality, and body positivity. She uses her platform to amplify the voices of marginalized communities, particularly transgender women of color, who often face disproportionately high rates of violence, poverty, and discrimination. Bloom's advocacy is deeply intersectional, addressing the interconnected struggles of race, gender identity, and socioeconomic status. Her activism is not just about visibility, but also about creating opportunities and systemic change for those who are often left behind. Chaz Bono. Chaz Bono, the only child of legendary entertainers Sonny and Cher, undertook his gender transition in the public eye, navigating his path to authenticity amidst intense media scrutiny. Beginning in 2008, Bono's journey became a landmark moment for transgender visibility, providing a rare and deeply personal insight into the life of a transgender man. Through his openness in sharing both the emotional and physical aspects of his transition, Bono humanized the transgender experience for millions, fostering greater understanding and empathy at a time when discussions about gender identity were less prominent in mainstream media. Bono's decision to transition publicly was a courageous step, especially given his family's iconic status and the relentless curiosity of the press. For years prior to his transition, Bono had struggled privately with gender dysphoria, describing feelings of discomfort and incongruence with the female identity he was assigned at birth. His eventual decision to live as his authentic self was not just a personal triumph, but also a profound act of advocacy. By sharing his story, Bono sought to educate the public about the realities of being transgender and to challenge the stigma and misconceptions surrounding gender transition. In 2011, Bono released the Emmy-nominated documentary Becoming Chaz, which offered an intimate look at his journey. The film chronicled key milestones in his transition, including hormone replacement therapy and gender-affirming surgeries, as well as the emotional challenges that came with navigating these changes. Bono candidly discussed the joys of seeing his body align with his gender identity, alongside the struggles of confronting societal biases and personal insecurities. The documentary also highlighted the reactions of his family and friends, showcasing the complexities of relationships and acceptance within a transitioning individual's support system. Through Becoming Chaz and numerous interviews, Bono addressed many aspects of the transgender experience that were often misunderstood or overlooked. He spoke openly about the medical aspects of transitioning, demystifying procedures like hormone replacement therapy and chest surgery for audiences who may have been unfamiliar with these processes. By breaking down these topics in accessible and relatable terms, Bono helped to dispel myths and reduce the fear and judgment often associated with gender-affirming healthcare. Beyond the physical aspects, Bono emphasized the emotional and psychological impact of transitioning. He described the relief and happiness of finally living authentically, as well as the challenges of grappling with societal expectations and the occasional rejection from others. His honesty about these experiences resonated deeply with transgender individuals who saw their own struggles reflected in his story, as well as with allies seeking to better understand the journey of their loved ones. Bono's visibility had a profound cultural impact, as he became one of the first high-profile transgender men to share his story on such a large scale. His openness not only provided representation for a community that had long been marginalized, but also helped to normalize conversations about gender identity in the broader public sphere. He was instrumental in shifting perceptions, encouraging audiences to see transgender individuals not as abstractions or stereotypes, but as real people with rich, multifaceted lives. As an advocate, Bono has used his platform to champion transgender rights and to support others navigating their own transitions. He has spoken extensively about the systemic barriers faced by transgender individuals, including discrimination in employment, healthcare, and legal recognition. Through his activism, he has worked to create a more inclusive and equitable society where all individuals can live authentically without fear of judgment or harm. Laverne Cox Long. Before her groundbreaking role as Sophia Bursette in Orange is the New Black earned her global acclaim, Laverne Cox was already a tireless advocate for transgender rights and representation. Her activism and artistry were intertwined, rooted in her personal experiences, and driven by an unyielding determination to foster change. In 2014, Cox made history as the first openly transgender individual to be nominated for a Primetime Emmy in an acting category. This monumental achievement not only marked a significant milestone for LGBTQ+ representation in Hollywood, but also amplified Cox's mission to address the systemic inequalities and injustices faced by the transgender community. From an early age, Cox experienced the harsh realities of societal prejudice, including bullying and discrimination, which fueled her later commitment to advocacy. She understood firsthand the disproportionate struggles faced by transgender individuals, particularly Black trans women, and became a powerful voice for those often silenced or ignored. Cox's ascent to fame did not divert her focus from these issues, but rather provided a larger stage to shine a spotlight on them. She adeptly used her growing platform to educate the public about the pervasive discrimination faced by transgender people. One of her primary focuses has been on the epidemic of violence against trans individuals, particularly trans women of color. Year after year, alarming rates of fatal violence disproportionately target this community, a crisis that Cox has described as a state of emergency. Through public speaking engagements, media appearances, and social media campaigns, she has worked to humanize these statistics, emphasizing that behind every number is a person with hopes, dreams, and loved ones. In addition to highlighting violence, Cox has tirelessly advocated against employment discrimination. Transgender individuals often face significant barriers in the workplace, ranging from outright rejection during hiring processes to hostile work environments and limited opportunities for advancement. As someone who once struggled to make ends meet while pursuing her acting career, Cox understands the economic precarity many trans individuals endure. Her advocacy extends to calling for robust workplace protections and policies that promote inclusion and equity. Cox has also brought attention to the issue of homelessness within the transgender community, a crisis often linked to familial rejection and systemic barriers. Many transgender individuals, particularly youth, are forced out of their homes due to a lack of acceptance, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation, violence, and a lack of access to basic resources. Through her activism, Cox has underscored the urgent need for safe housing solutions and comprehensive support services tailored to the unique needs of transgender individuals. Harvey has carved out a unique space in the world of comedy by using humor to explore themes of gender identity, transition, and the everyday realities of being transgender. Through his incisive and often hilarious stand-up performances, Harvey tackles subjects that are rarely discussed in mainstream comedy, offering audiences an insightful and fresh perspective on the transgender experience. His work not only provides vital visibility for the trans community, but also demonstrates how humor can be a powerful tool for breaking down stereotypes, fostering understanding, and connecting people across differences. Harvey's comedic journey began in his hometown of Portland, Maine, where his natural wit and storytelling ability first took root. He initially found himself drawn to comedy as a way to navigate his own journey of self-discovery, grappling with his gender identity, and the challenges that came with living authentically in a world that often misunderstands transgender people. After transitioning in his 30s, Harvey turned to stand-up comedy as a medium to share his experiences, combining personal anecdotes with sharp social commentary. What sets Harvey apart as a comedian is his ability to address complex and sometimes heavy topics, such as gender dysphoria, coming out, and societal perceptions of gender, with a lighthearted and relatable approach. His humor is both disarming and educational, inviting audiences to laugh while also gaining a deeper understanding of what it means to be transgender. By making audiences feel comfortable enough to confront topics they might otherwise find uncomfortable, Harvey bridges the gap between trans and cisgender experiences, fostering empathy and breaking down prejudices. In his stand-up routines, Harvey often delves into the intricacies of his transition, using humor to demystify the process. From the quirks of hormone therapy to the nuances of navigating bathrooms and social situations, he brings a humorous lens to experiences that are deeply personal yet resonate universally. Harvey's ability to find comedy in these moments reflects his talent for transforming vulnerability into strength and connection. Harvey's groundbreaking work extends beyond the stage. He has appeared on numerous television shows and specials, including as a regular on the critically acclaimed Amazon series Transparent. His role on the show, which was one of the first mainstream depictions of a transgender man, further cemented his status as a trailblazer in LGBTQ+ representation. Harvey's presence on Transparent not only brought greater visibility to transgender actors, but also highlighted the importance of authentic storytelling in shaping cultural perceptions of gender identity. In addition to his on-screen work, Harvey has been a vocal advocate for LGBTQ+ rights, using his platform to support causes that promote equality and inclusion. He frequently performs at LGBTQ+ events, fundraisers, and pride celebrations, leveraging his humor to bring communities together and inspire positive change. Through his advocacy, Harvey underscores the transformative power of representation, showing how comedy can be a catalyst for broader social awareness and acceptance. Zia Wade. At just 12 years old, Zia's courageous decision to live as her authentic self marked a pivotal moment in her life and ignited broader conversations about the experiences of transgender children. With the unwavering support of her father, Dwayne Wade, and stepmother, actress Gabrielle Union, Zia's journey has been a testament to the power of love, acceptance, and advocacy in creating a more inclusive world. Zia's coming-out story is a powerful example of the importance of supportive families in the lives of LGBTQ+ youth. Dwayne Wade has been open about the steps he and his family took to educate themselves about Zia's identity and to ensure she felt fully accepted and loved. From consulting with experts to engaging in heartfelt conversations with Zia, the Wade family prioritized her happiness and well-being above all else. In interviews, Dwyane Wade has referred to Zia as the strong one in their family and described her as a hero for her courage and self-awareness at such a young age. This public display of familial support has resonated deeply, offering a model of allyship for other parents of transgender children. In May 2021, she celebrated her 14th birthday with a roller skating-themed party, a joyful occasion that underscored the importance of celebrating transgender youth and their achievements. Her vibrant personality and sense of style have made her a source of inspiration for young people navigating their own identities, proving that authenticity can be a source of strength and confidence. Beyond her personal milestones, Zia has used her platform to advocate for the acceptance and understanding of transgender youth. Through interviews, social media, and public appearances, she has shared her story to help normalize transgender experiences and to challenge stereotypes and misconceptions. Zia's eloquence and poise have made her a compelling advocate, and her willingness to speak out has provided a voice for many who may feel silenced or unseen. The Wade family's public support for Zia has also sparked important conversations about the role of parents and allies in creating safe and affirming environments for transgender children. Dwyane Wade and Gabrielle Union have consistently emphasized the importance of listening to and learning from Zia, allowing her to guide her own journey while offering unconditional love and support. Their advocacy extends beyond their family, as they have used their platform to call for greater acceptance of transgender individuals and to highlight the unique challenges faced by LGBTQ+ youth, including bullying, discrimination, and mental health struggles. India Moore, an actor, model, and activist, has emerged as one of the most influential voices for transgender rights in contemporary media. Best known for their groundbreaking role as Angel Evangelista on FX's acclaimed series Pose, Moore has leveraged their platform to shine a spotlight on the systemic challenges faced by transgender women of color, particularly Black and Latina trans women. With a focus on issues such as violence, homelessness, healthcare inequality, and employment discrimination, Moore has become a beacon of hope and a force for change, advocating for a world that recognizes and celebrates transgender individuals for their full humanity. Through their role in Pose, Moore became part of a historic moment in television as the show featured one of the largest casts of transgender actors in leading roles. Pose celebrated the lives and resilience of LGBTQ+ individuals, particularly those within the Black and Latinx ballroom scenes of the 1980s and 1990s. Moore's portrayal of Angel, a trans woman navigating love, identity, and societal rejection, resonated deeply with audiences. Their performance brought nuance and humanity to a character whose experiences mirrored those of many trans women of color in real life. Moore's advocacy extends far beyond the screen. They have been vocal about the epidemic of violence faced by transgender women of color who are disproportionately targeted in hate crimes. Moore consistently highlights these injustices on social media and at public events, drawing attention to the alarming rates of murder and violence within the community. By amplifying the stories of those who have been silenced, Moore ensures that their lives are remembered and that systemic change remains a priority. In addition to addressing violence, Moore advocates for improved access to housing, health care, and employment opportunities for transgender individuals. They have spoken candidly about the high rates of homelessness among trans youth, often stemming from familial rejection and systemic inequities. Moore emphasizes the need for inclusive policies and resources that provide safe, affirming spaces for trans individuals to thrive. Similarly, they call for healthcare systems that are equipped to meet the unique needs of transgender people, from gender-affirming care to mental health support. A fierce proponent of representation in media, Moore has consistently pushed for the inclusion of diverse transgender voices in Hollywood and fashion. They argue that authentic representation is not just about visibility, but also about creating opportunities for trans individuals to tell their own stories and to work in front of and behind the camera. By challenging tokenism and advocating for meaningful inclusion, Moore has helped to shift the cultural narrative, paving the way for a more equitable and inclusive industry. Moore's activism is deeply intersectional, addressing the interconnected nature of race, gender identity, and socioeconomic status. They have highlighted how the struggles faced by Black and Latina trans women are compounded by systemic racism and economic inequality, making their advocacy all the more urgent. By connecting these dots, Moore brings a holistic perspective to their work, emphasizing that true equality requires dismantling multiple layers of oppression. Kataluna Enriquez. In June 2021, Kataluna Enriquez broke new ground in the world of pageantry and representation by being crowned Miss Nevada USA. This historic win made her the first openly transgender woman to compete in the prestigious Miss USA pageant, a milestone that resonated deeply within the LGBTQ+ community and beyond. Enriquez's triumph was not just a personal achievement, but a momentous step toward inclusivity in a space long considered exclusive and steeped in traditional beauty standards. Her victory underscored the importance of visibility and representation in challenging stereotypes and fostering acceptance. Before her groundbreaking Miss Nevada USA win, Enriquez had already made waves in the pageant world. She competed in and won multiple transgender-focused beauty contests, earning titles like Miss International Queen USA. These experiences honed her confidence and stage presence, preparing her to take on mainstream pageantry, which traditionally excluded transgender women. By entering these spaces, Enriquez challenged the rigid norms of the industry, proving that beauty, talent, and grace transcend gender. A key aspect of Enriquez's platform is her advocacy for mental health and inclusivity. As someone who has experienced the struggles of being marginalized, Enriquez uses her platform to raise awareness about the challenges faced by transgender individuals, including discrimination, lack of access to health care, and mental health disparities. She has also spoken openly about her personal journey, including the bullying and rejection she faced, to encourage others to find strength in their identities. In addition to her advocacy work, Enriquez is a talented fashion designer, creating many of her own pageant gowns under her label, Kataluna Couture. For her Miss Nevada USA competition, she wore a stunning rainbow gown she designed herself, a tribute to Pride Month and a celebration of her identity. The gown symbolized her journey and the progress of the LGBTQ+ community, serving as a visual reminder of the beauty of diversity and resilience. Caitlyn Jenner. When Caitlyn Jenner revealed her identity as a transgender woman during a highly publicized 2015 interview with Diane Sawyer, it marked a cultural turning point. Known globally as Bruce Jenner, an Olympic decathlon champion and a key figure in the Kardashian-Jenner reality TV empire, Caitlyn's announcement captivated audiences and reframed public discourse about gender identity. Her candid and emotional recounting of her lifelong struggle with gender dysphoria gave a human face to an often misunderstood and marginalized issue. Millions tuned in to hear her story, making it one of the most talked-about moments in recent media history. Jenner's decision to publicly share her truth came with immense courage, given the societal stigma surrounding transgender individuals. For decades, she had grappled privately with feelings of incongruence between her assigned gender at birth and her authentic self. Her revelation laid bare the psychological and emotional toll of living in silence, offering a deeply personal narrative that resonated with many. It was not just a personal milestone, but a landmark event for visibility within the transgender community. Jenner's fame and vulnerability gave an unprecedented platform to conversations about gender identity, reaching audiences who might otherwise never have engaged with the topic. While her announcement was widely celebrated as a step forward for LGBTQ+ visibility, it was not without its challenges. Jenner faced backlash from some quarters, with critics questioning her motivations and scrutinizing her every move. Her high-profile status brought with it intense media attention, often teetering between sensationalism and genuine curiosity. Despite the scrutiny, Jenner used her platform to advocate for transgender rights, shedding light on the systemic injustices faced by trans individuals, including barriers in housing, employment, and healthcare access. Jenner's transition highlighted the significant disparities and discrimination faced by the transgender community. She spoke out about the high rates of homelessness among trans individuals, often resulting from familial rejection or societal bias. She also addressed workplace discrimination, noting how many transgender people face challenges in securing and maintaining employment due to prejudice. Moreover, her advocacy touched on the critical issue of healthcare access, emphasizing the need for inclusive medical services that cater to the unique needs of transgender individuals. These discussions brought these pressing issues into the mainstream, fostering greater awareness and understanding. What do you think about the gender transitions of these stars? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this, and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.